I feel like we call it love when we're just trying to like hold each other in certain bounds. Like, because I love you, I would never leave for a job that would take me away from the house for 6 months because I want to spend so much time here. Like, no, like, it's just not realistic to me.
I mean, like,
I was gonna say
so.
I'm like, you're gonna make some women,
Yeah. I feel like
fixture. The type of woman that you want is a fixture. You want someone you can idolize or put on the shelf to showcase to everyone else. Someone who's gonna constantly support you, who's gonna constantly, who is ambitious in her own right, who does have her own things going for her because that makes you look good. Because that's your piece, right?
Do you know her? Do you know her? Because I mean, shit, you hit it on the side. Yeah. She'll be here.
Women are just as ambitious, if not more ambitious than men, right? You know the saying behind every strong man is a strong woman. So you have to understand you're not even gonna meet the real version of the woman and the shorty that you're talking to until about 6 months. You're talking to her representative right now. She's letting you see.
I'm talking to reception.
Yes, exactly. You're still the best you have.
This shit is real. This shit is raw. This shit is all. What's on your mind?
Me?
Because you had me fucked up last week.
Let's talk about it.
Alright,
recap.
let's
Have a
chat.
recap?
Alright.
I wasn't here.
Let's have a conversation. Okay. Let's have a conversation about what role your partner should play in your business.
Do you believe in monogamy?
That was the
No.
question.
Alright, but the specific, when y'all niggas got it heated, it was because of that.
But the main question, okay.
Fuck it, let's take it from the top.
Only one question got asked, baby girl. The question was,
They lying.
Alright.
the question was, is monogamy possible? Does it exist in today's world or society? Right? It starts with, you know, like you do, everybody on the couch. Yeah. it's over here like monogamy. This, you know, it exists in theory, but this, that, and the third. Well, shit, you know, he could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? So now everybody at the table, everybody sitting down is like, oh yeah, I don't think I believe in monogamy either. So now he's like, well, here, let me explain monogamy. He get way off topic, right? Now he over here.
I fuck with her storytelling.
So look,
I
now
fuck with it.
he like whole train of thought derailed. He over here talking
like
about
me, you know?
no. He over here talking about, oh man, you know, it's just I have a business, I have these plans for my life, and you know, like I can't be with a woman who wants to cuddle all the time. You know, I need someone who also wants to excel in my business. I want someone who also. So I'm over here like, let me get this straight.
Okay, Mr.
You
B.
don't
Simone.
want a wife. You want a partner.
Yeah.
And not only do you want a partner, you want a fixture. You want a woman who makes you look good, and then you can trophize her, put her on the little shelf, and you dust her off when you need her to come out and shine for you, right?
Hold on, before anybody says anything, because this is mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's been cooking on this for 7 days. Wait. Let me finish. Let me defend myself, and then we can go around the room.
But I think the problem and the reason that monogamy doesn't work now is because nobody sets their terms, sets their boundaries, and sticks to them. Monogamy solely means that you and I are in a covenant together in a relationship. You and I are in this sexual relationship. Dating. That's us. That's what monogamy is. Now, say me and you decide to bring Shorty to bed with us, it's still monogamy. In our covenant, we agreed to have this threesome. Now, if you go out on the side and you mess with Shorty outside of our covenant, it's no longer monogamy. You're cheating.
I was talking about work.
Oh.
She talking about fucking. Like,
Make it make sense.
I mean, it's not
if
what
you're
I mean.
expecting anything more than 100% from me, I'm already cheating on you because I know I'm not gonna give it to you. It's already
And
at my work. It's already where.
He's saying.
Make it make sense.
I mean, it's
Whatever it is that you need that I'm not fulfilling is me cheating in a sense. Shouldn't it be? That should be the nearest thing I could ever compare you to because I love me before anything. And so the closest thing you could get to is what I love outside of me, and it's my work. So you should be honored. How dare you? You came and it's like, oh, this nigga said that. I didn't say that. You said I said that.
Like, you only know it the way you know it. Right?
Yo, I'm not even talking her through anything. She's talking herself through this, right? If my business is gonna fill the cup that will allow me to fill the cup for my family, meaning if I'm gonna do so well here, that it will allow me to be better there, why would you not let me be great here?
Okay, how about we don't speak for Trent? Let's not do that. Draft up the
I
fucking
set the fucking
contract
terms
and
last
let's
week.
stick
You
to
didn't like that.
I love that shit.
I apologize for being honest, right?
He gaslighted me.
I'm sorry you feel that way. This is not going in that plan, y'all.
Jeep. And cars are passing, and I'm like, wow, this is totally a promo clip. And I'm like, look at those legs. Those are some nice legs. Those are my legs.
Look nice from afar.
Just afar.
Why? Why?
Because, they're all defined and proportionate to your body. It looks great.
The closer you get, the crazier it looks.
The closer you get, the more I'm taking in your chest. Like, hey, dude, back up. You're too close.
My bad.
I'm sweating. It's hot.
Why?
No, I'm saying that's what I'd be thinking when you're like chest to chest with me.
Oh, my bad. What were you saying earlier? You said something random as fuck.
Oh, I was talking about... We're recording, aren't we?
What did you say?
I was talking about how, looking at the earlier episodes of me, I could totally tell where my mental health was. Because
So,
I was in a... Huh?
And for those who don't know what a manic high is, please describe it.
Okay, so manic high, manic high for me is a sense of euphoria and feeling like I'm on top of the world. I'm unstoppable. Nothing in the world can touch me. And I live in like a false sense of reality where I'm pretty much like my own God. And looking at those episodes, I was clearly in a manic high episode.
I totally feel like I experienced something of the same, like, not to say that my body language read the same thing, but I was definitely feeling myself back then.
We were definitely feeding off each other's energy, though.
Yeah. And, at the time, I really didn't want to make other people uncomfortable by doing so. And so you could tell in, like, another episode after, I think it was one when Pat came back, I was trying to remain quiet. It's when I had that brown, that jean shirt on that you told me about. And, like, it'd be times, like, where I'll be going on a rant, and then I'll just sit back. Just put my head down. And everyone's like, what's going on with that guy? I'm just like, I'm talking too much,
No, I think our season finale for me was me coming, like, back to reality. So I was a lot calmer, a lot more gentle, and I was able to just eloquently express myself. And so it's like, oh, wow, she doesn't just talk about sex. She's kind of smart. Like, oh, wow, she might even be religious. She's talking about God.
And then our viewership went down. They were like, oh, we're not here for this shit.
They were like, where's our OnlyFans? Pop some ass.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm excited now that we're back to, like, I feel like I'm much calmer now, don't you think? Like, maybe not after yesterday's events, but
Just needed some straightening.
like, I'm okay now.
I'm still healing.
So what did you brainstorm on? What do you want to talk about today?
I think that we should just reflect. Then to now, it's been 10 months. Yeah, you cut me off earlier.
What were you saying?
When you were talking about how you were thinking that you should be more quiet and things like that, and then how when people found out I was smart, the viewership went down. But that's just not the case. We stopped recording. That was our last episode for like 10 months.
Yeah, and I mean, and that was a big thing. Like, I feel like I was being pressured. Just like I tell you this shit all the time. Like, I don't like when people tell me what to do, which is like not good for someone who's like putting themselves out in the public eye. Like, people are gonna ask for a certain thing of you, and so I'm like, all right, cool. Like, people was like, yeah, you should just do the show with Trent. It's obvious you guys know what the fuck you're doing, and I'm like, don't tell me what the fuck to do. I'll do it with who I want to do it with.
I don't even think it had anything to do with us being in a relationship. It was more just like chemistry and body language. But also total jabs like, oh, you guys are together, so do it with her.
Yeah. And were you offended that I did not accept that offer?
Offended? No. Kind of relieved. Yeah, because at the time, like, it was a lot. It was taking a lot out of you. It was taking a lot out of me to just be like your supporting cast,
Mm-hmm.
And then we both have this like abundance mindset where it's like no one's gonna fail. So if you're gonna drop the ball or I'm gonna give you some slack, somebody else is gonna pick that up. And so it kind of became like a revolving door of, well, Trent will catch it, Trent will catch it, Trent will catch it, and all of a sudden I'm like juggling all these other people's responsibilities.
And I was like, I didn't want to get to a point where, you know, like, I just felt like people were trying to watch me crash and burn, and they were like, yeah, fucking take her with you.
They still are.
Yeah, but it's like, I'll use it as gasoline, you know, from a fucking rocket and blast off. Yeah, I used to say that shit, like, I don't wear seatbelts because I'm just fucking, I'm a one-channeled man in life. You know?
I've totally changed you because you yell at me for not wearing my seatbelt.
You think so?
Earlier today. Yeah, put it on. Put your seatbelt on. What are you doing? You know, it makes me feel more comfortable if you wear your seatbelt, Trent.
No, but I mean, I feel like in that aspect, like, we've done other things together, like Turo, like Airbnb. And
short-term renting.
I'm not going to say successfully or not successfully. That's, you know, up to anyone else to decide. But, you know, podcasting for me, I felt like, let me do something with this girl that I just met that is not on Front Street. You know, it's not for everybody to see. Especially since, like, everybody else left. Like, all right, cool, it's just us two. And, like, I feel like there was just no container for me to put it in at the time. But now, you know, like, given everything we did, like, we have a lot to talk about, at least today, you know, like, how did you like the business ideas that I've brought, you know, since then?
It's really funny because nobody's going to see us at home when we're, like, arguing over these things. And, like, when we bring it up in arguments, like, we fight about typical couple stuff, and then we fight about the business stuff, too. You see a 9, I see a 6. We're both right and we're both wrong, but we're both really headstrong. For me, dude, you're a fucking genius. So, like, you'll come up with 100 ideas, and I'm like, yeah. And, like, you used to put the fire in my ass, like, early, you know? So I used to be like, yeah, let's do this. And you're like, yeah, that was 3 days ago. Like, I remember when, do you even remember this? When you were looking at Tesla charging stations, and you wanted to buy a charging station to, like, put in different areas, some in the airports. You know, you wanted, like, contracts.
Gas stations, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Like, how much is this investment? Like, yeah, we can totally do this. And then, like, you were on it for, like, 3 days. Like, I remember you didn't sleep. You were putting together, like, building your case, I guess.
And I found, like...
Yes, and you found a great company. You found great spaces for you to be able to, like, lay that foundation down and make your money work for you. But you just didn't get out yet. And so, for me, I guess it was just a lot of frustration because, like...
Shaking the table like K. Michelle. you understand the reference?
Yeah, that's really rude. Fuck you.
No, I'm just letting you know. But yeah. I totally didn't run with the whole charging station thing, and that's my fault. I don't know what happened. And I'm just like, you know, I guess a firecracker in that regard, you know. But
our love language to each other became talking about business or just dropping ideas. Like Black Boy Joy, you know, like that hashtag. And then, like, us being like, all right, well, we need an adult hashtag. Like, we should totally copyright, what was it, Black Bliss. And, like, we were on it for a long time because Black Bliss wasn't coined or copyrighted by anyone. And we're like, we should buy this. And then it's like, okay, well, let's go look at the domain for that. And I was like, what the fuck is a domain? And, you know, like, you're filling in all the baby steps for me. And it became things like that. What else did we briefly touch over? It got to the point where I was just yelling at you, and I was like, hey, I don't want to be a window shopper. Like, I like to go in the store and spend money. Like, I like to physically have something I can hold.
I think I know why. Man, he's a window shopper. Do you remember that song? 50, come on. Oh, my God. I'm really trying with you, you know.
You know, I don't really have a black card.
You do.
You take it from me repeatedly. Daily? You daily take my black card from me? All because I don't watch these films.
Hey, but I mean, I give it back to you when you get in my ass about, like, not fulfilling things that I say, like, and that's one thing I feel like I can praise the black community for doing, like, moms not letting a kid not go to football practice because he's upset, or like, hey, you said you're gonna start this, you're gonna finish it, you know, like, I can appreciate that out of a lot of people.
I think another place where I won't say we struggled, but you struggled, is feeling like you owe the entire black community something. You know, you have this mentality like, I'm Atlas, I'm gonna carry you guys on my back, whether you want me to or not. It's Chance the Rapper. What is it? If they don't want to ride, I'm gonna still give them raincoats. Know what God said when he made the first rainbow? Like, that's...
Just throw a second, ain't it fun to lay for that?
That's you. Like, and it's like, hey, like, he still said it was okay for them not to ride, and then he gave them raincoats. You're like, hey, it's not okay. You're going to get on my back, or I'm going to carry you. You hear me? And it's like, hey, dude, chill. Like if they want to follow, they going to follow.
You know, and I realize, like, I'm a strongly convicted man. Like, I feel very strongly about the things that I feel strongly about, you know? And, like, one of the comments that really bothered me, and we didn't get many comments. Most of it was
Someone with the
support
pants.
from friends and family. But one of the comments that really bothered me from, like, these strangers was...
oh, you think he's so deep?
Yeah.
I remember it. Yeah, it was in the Black Lives Matter military edition group.
Like, excuse me for fucking wanting to, like, express my thoughts on what goes on in our community, or what's, you know, what we need to change or fix. Like, I feel like it's enough shows talking about, you know, like, a lot of other things that are toxic in our neighborhood. And not to say that, you know, we were fucking saving the day. We were the Black Power Rangers on there or whatnot. Because we weren't, you know, but things, like, I don't know, I feel like people look for the first wrong thing to say about you. Like, we gave a lot of gems on that show, you know, and in the 19, 20 episodes that we dropped, you know.
Actually, I think you're mixing it up, because when the guy was referring to, oh, I bet he think he's so deep, it really didn't have anything to do with the black community, and it had more to do with black men in relationships and, you know, monogamy. It was that episode. It was, does monogamy exist? And then it's like,
took over like a fucking 4 or 5 episode span, and we spent the last couple episodes talking about it. And now, to be honest, I'm scared that if it scares away newer, you know, guests that want to come on, because they're like, I'm not too sure about the theme of the show. No, I don't want to take it down. It's my stuff.
You're so sensitive about your art.
Yeah. But you were saying something, and I lost my train of thought.
We're just reflecting, right? Talking about what was difficult for me being a part of your journey. I would have to say, like, watching you come to the realization that not everybody's in your corner. I struggled with that because, like, there were absolutely times when it's like, it's not that I don't want to be in your corner. It's just that I would like to be in this corner of the house.
Yeah, because that corner is scary.
This corner is warm.
Oh, you like the warmth? Don't you mean my corner's too hot?
No. Your corner was like, your corner was all cold and wet, and I was like,
it was damp, like a cave.
Yes, and I was like, okay, listen, like, I'm all for a wild, frisky thing, but like, I want to go home. Okay, like, I want to be sheltered too.
Yeah, people don't understand the importance of, like, HVAC, you know, like keeping you warm in the winter and cool in the summertime. Like, I don't know where I'm even going with that. But anyways. Yeah.
I don't even think it was about the show. I think that, like, after the last 11 months with you, we've been together a year now. It's a year. It's been a year we've been dating. But just in the last, like, 11 months, Chess Moves isn't really a brand. Like, it's an identity. It's definitely who you are. And so one of the things that I struggle with is allowing you to share your identity, or watching you feel like you have to strip your identity to make other people comfortable. I think that entire rhetoric is bullshit. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because, yeah, it might be a brand for a co-host or like a third-party partner, but, like, it's not for you. You know, like, it's your aura. It's your essence. Like, your life force is there. You've devoted your literal DNA into what Chess Moves is. And so, like, just to see hey, the show took a standstill as I had to go into isolation and, like, rebuild myself, like, rebuild my mental health, like, rebuild my body, right? Because we've watched your body dramatically change over the last 11 months. And as you're undergoing all these transformations, like, for someone who wasn't witness to any of it, but was privy to the commentary, to, like, come in after seeing you, like, reemerge and be like, oh, how dare you? Oh, the disrespect. And it's like, yeah, but I was being disrespected for the last 11 months, and, like, I'm ready to fucking show the world my baby. I'm Michael Jackson holding blanket over the balcony, okay? This is me.
No, I mean, you said something earlier, and as you're saying it now, it kind of just sprung in my head. Like, I mean, don't you kind of feel like you owe something to the black community? And I did at one point. I was talking to myself, and that, you know, like, all right, one thing that I stood on in the, you know, one, like, quote that really stuck out to me is, you're standing on your ancestors' shoulders as you live the life that you live now. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, everything you do, you have to be accountable for it, right? And my ancestors are your ancestors. So, like, what are we doing, you know, if not, like, playing?
We do not have the same ancestors.
I'm just saying, like, in general. They close, they cousins. Right?
No, they ain't. Don't do that.
Look.
Don't do that. We are not related.
Look, I'm trying to...
No emotional incest here.
No. I mean, as far as just, like, black people in general, like, we share ancestors, so, like, there are a lot of things we should be taking a lot more fucking serious, like, our kids' education, you know, like, having discipline and order in your fucking family, and I don't just mean between, like, father, child, mother, child.
I know exactly what you mean, your brother.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, brother, sister, cousins, like, I feel like there should be, and there's this guy by the name of, what's his name? Damn it. He sells life insurance. No, it's not shady like that. Like, he has an entire program. Jake Taylor Jacobs, yeah. If you look him up, he has legacy building program behind life insurance, and he's like, yo, your family should have a family emblem. Y'all should have family ethos that you fucking follow. Like, if no one breaks these rules.
We
and
do.
Regulations.
That's one of the few things that you really liked about my family's background was, like, we had an order. We have a hierarchy.
You told me one time
we're a clan
that you and your grandmother had, and you was like, she said you're not following the order, and I'm like, first of all, that sounds like some Harry Potter shit. Like, there's a council, and you're fucking up the order. I'm like, that's amazing, you know.
And then you met the people on the council, and you were like, wow, I really like Brad. Oh, your dad? Oh, you know, he lived with you, you know. Your grandfather, amazing man. And you're like, wow, your grandmother, she's scary. She's terrifying.
She sits on the throne like fucking Cersei, but, like, you know, much older. Like, she survived several rounds of this. But, like I'm saying, like, that right there, like, people having some sort of accountability squad or team of people, like, hey, you're gonna have to answer for this. Like, it's not there, and we've seen it through generations, like, slowly disappear. Like, all right, cool, all your daddies go to jail in the 80s.
Even my brother.
All your moms do drugs in the 90s. You know, like, all the 2000s, your older sisters or cousins are raising y'all. You get what I'm saying? And now we're in a generation where people don't care. Like, and I feel like we're the catalyst for this shit, right? Because I look at the world like a fucking shopping mall, right? I feel like America is where the world comes to spend all their money. Like, this is where you reap the fruits of your labor, right? And so, like, us being the servants who brought this country to, like, its fruition.
I just said that in the car.
We're way too fucking reckless. Like, we're way too reckless with this shit. Like, yo, they're giving away land. Like, I was talking to Myron Golden's brother.
But that's like, because we're always a step behind. Exactly. I just said this in the car. I said, of course, you know, I was talking about
other things.
You know, other things. But essentially, like, black doesn't crack, but we age like meth. Like, that's...
No, like, I feel like we're just always behind the curve.
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, yeah, I get it. Like, we move the culture. We move the needle when it comes to, like, all the fun stuff. But as far as, like, setting up your family for future successes, like, we're generations behind. Like, yeah, they're giving away land right now. We still working for 40 acres and a mule, and everybody else is on NFTs and fucking crypto and all that shit. And it's like,
and so we're going to have all the land, and they're going to be in the digital age completely, and we're behind.
Exactly.
It's like...
That's my fucking biggest fear right now. Like, and then on top of that, I'm like, all right, cool, like, you go on all of the most highly coveted black networks or black like social media accounts, and it's nothing but bullshit. Like
porn.
I mean, like yeah, like I don't even want to like talk down on it because I'm like with the ratchet shit too. Like I enjoy ratchetness every now and then, but it's like I feel like I asked my homeboy Dave this the other day. I'm like, how do you decompress? Like, when was the last time that you decompress? And you can see me build up pressure on the show over time. Like, yo, this motherfucker is not decompressing. Things are getting heftier and heftier.
I'm the type to press you, and not because I'm pushing your buttons, but to just be like, hey, I can tell you're upset. Like,
Hey, you gotta
let
let
it
some
out.
air out.
Hey, let it out. Hey, let it out. And you're like, "Roar, I don't want to let it out.
That's not true.
And then when you and then after you're done, you're like, okay, I need a nap. It's like, okay.
Everybody needs a nap.
I don't know. Okay, here's something that you never talk about. What's it like? What was it like for you with me? Was it hard, frustrating? I felt like you sacrificed a lot of different things just to stay with me. At one point, I didn't think we were together because you wanted to be with me. It was more just like to spite everyone who said this will never work.
Yeah, you know, you're right in that regard sometimes. But I mean, after the fact, I'm just like, hey, do what's best for you, ish. Like, that's it. You know, like, I could care less what anybody else thinks of me. But yeah, I feel like I was more of a, I'm a private guy. Like, I don't like to share certain things.
Private.
You don't think so?
No.
You gave me an analogy.
I misheard you saying private for pregnant, and I was like,
No.
please explain. But
No, I'm a private guy. Like, I don't. You explained to me once you were like, podcasting is a good lane for you because you get to give out what you want and get paid for it. Like, not all of your life is on display and for free for people to just like dissect and pick apart like how most people do on fucking Facebook for free. And so like I thought about that shit the other day. Like, that's one of my things that I want to post. Like, damn, you niggas out here still telling your story for free. Like, and this is why all those people that I try to introduce you to, like Life and Marcus Rosier and people like that. Like, these are people who are like, hey, you have a story to tell, write it down on paper, monetize it, you know, and fucking.
you tell me all the time, write a book.
Exactly.
But I feel like I'm several books. Where do I start, you know?
I mean, start somewhere, anywhere, you know. But yeah, like, damn, I had an idea while I was in the bathroom and it's gone now.
You're doing your best work, huh?
Yeah.
Ew. Okay, let's set the scene. Not of you in the bathroom, just like set the scene. What were you feeling when you were podcasting, when it was a regular thing? Pick one emotion and really stick with it, because I know you were feeling a lot of different things.
Okay, so I feel anxious. And I say that not in a bad way, but...
Anxious or
sometimes
anxiety?
Anxious. Anxious because I say that, like, when I hear a gem, when I hear something that's fucking fire or amazing from Drake or fucking in a song or in an interview, like, or any type of, like, I listen to all types of shit. I mean, you've seen my YouTube history. Like, it's all over the place. But when I hear something that I like, I want to be able to, like, write it down and have somewhere to fucking regurgitate it to a bigger audience, to people who haven't heard something like that, or to someone who might find it more interesting or who could take use of it. So I guess I was always feeling anxious to get more content out and to get more people to hear, like, what we're getting ourselves into and what we're, like, involving ourselves with. Why is this laptop doing that?
That bitch breathing hard.
Yeah, I think it's because all these programs are open. You know, I mean, shout out to Apple. They are cornering the market right now. My phone stopped working. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
We'll find it. But yeah, I mean, podcasting is it's a lane for anybody to. Like, if you're a medical student, you can make a podcast to everyone who's in college and in high school who wants to go to medical school. How many students are in America? A lot. You know, like,
More than half of the population are children or people in school.
really?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I do this enough times, and
Typically,
people get
well,
the
you have to
message.
think about it like this, right? You have to think about all the unwed people who have had children, all the married people who have had children, divorced, had other children.
Yeah, it costs a lot on the economy. I've said that before. Yo, TikTok is really making it to where, like, certain songs are, like, blowing up for real. Like a lot of the good songs in my like history now.
Yeah,
It's been from TikTok.
or from me scrolling and you being like, what song is that? I don't know. Shazam it. Leave me alone.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I was totally against TikTok. If you watch a certain episode, you probably hear me and they're like, nah, that's some weird new young stuff where they're like doing all these dances, but you could even find me busting a move every now and then. Kidding. Where'd you go?
Oh, I was thinking about Chanel West Coast from Ridiculousness.
Why?
Oh, because I was thinking about like bloopers of my own and from like previous episodes, and I'm like, oh wow, like she's totally coined as like the dumb blonde, but like she loves it.
I mean, she markets pretty well. Like she was signed to Young Money for some time. She was. She's out at that mansion with Wayne and them. All these niggas doing all types of black things.
Oh God.
But she started light with that guy TJ. What was his name? The black dude next to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if his name is TJ for real, but yeah, she started light with him and then moved on to Lil Wayne. You know, she went heavy. But yeah, I'm hungry.
I don't think you're hungry. I think you're bored.
I'm swinging that like that. So you said you need help brainstorming topics for PAX podcast. So as much as you want to talk about being a great writer, unless you're going to monetize it. I mean, you can talk about writing.
That's
right?
actually not what I wanted to talk about at all.
You
With
said
my
you wanted
writing.
to talk about like
I want
current events and like.
Nope.
What was it?
You know, you pay less attention to me than you think you do.
That's not true.
Clearly it is. I told you that I wanted to talk about black censorship and the importance of our First Amendment right. I wanted to talk about how a misconstrued Facebook comment through the algorithm got Pac blocked for 30 days. And it was prime time for him to be promoting his business, promoting his assets. Like, I feel like systematic oppression is very much so a thing, and it's even on the digital on the digital
Facebook
front.
owns Instagram, if y'all don't know, and I was banned for sharing, blood on the leaves, a picture of us being hung from the leaves, and people smoking cigarettes underneath. And then when I tried to go live later, try to promote my business, and it was like, you can't go live because these standards. But I think that's a good thing to talk about, and I think a way you can monetize that is by putting out like a weekly newsletter, so like an email list, like, hey, some clever name that you put on it, like, hey, these are my thoughts for the week, and then weekly you put it out, and then you put a logo on it, and then one week you're like, hey, I'm selling t-shirts with my logo on it. It's like, hey, I'm starting a podcast where I talk about these things, about like what's going on in the community, things that we should pay attention to, this and this and that. Like, I want you to know that you are not just a talking piece.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Even so, it wasn't just black censorship, right? Censorship in general, I think, is an important topic. Also, I don't like the way that we struggle with supporting other businesses, black businesses, without like tearing them down a little bit. And like that goes to what we were watching this morning. Like, I was really offended that her coaching habits say this, and the rhetoric was the exact opposite.
Okay. Were you offended that I said what I said about Telfar when I said it on the show? I mean, it was one of my biggest moments, I guess. Like, I was like, yeah, I didn't like when Telfar put this message out about how you can't press them about your product.
That's an opinion. That's just an opinion. I myself, as a customer, did not like this part of your business. It rubbed me the wrong way. You still bought the bag. You bought 2 bags. I got a bag. But no, what I didn't like was, it was more like, I'm a business coach. And if you think you're going to find a better business coach than me for a lower price, good job. Well, now I'm curious, so I'm going to go look up this business coach that you found for a lesser price. But instead of looking up the coach and comparing myself to that coach to see what we offer, and if what we offer is on the same playing field, I'm looking at our clients. And I'm like, look at your client list. They're nothing like my clients. You're like, I'm way out of your league. But the truth is, like, if you're as an amazing business coach as you think that you are, then it really shouldn't matter what your client's selling.
Exactly.
It's about your coaching strategies. And so it's things like that. Like,
And you said she the type to turn away strippers.
yes, I said she give me like that type of vibe. Like, she would turn away a stripper because, oh, no. I'm not going to coach you on how to sell that. And it's like,
That's not what I'm trying to get coached on. Like, coach me
yo,
out of this.
how many OnlyFans girls, how many strippers do we know personally that fucking did what they had to do, made their 10, 20 racks, and now they flipping houses? Yeah, they're real estate. You know what I'm like?
Yeah. And
Entrepreneurs.
we are all entrepreneurs at one point in our life, you know, and the way we had to get it, it's not necessarily always the same or looked upon the same, but and I'm glad that you feel brave enough to even talk about how she addressed people from there on out, because I mean, those are things that I like her coaching style. Like, I think she's dope. I think she's very to the point and direct, and she helps you move a lot of like bullshit out of your own way. But also,
As much as you're coaching other people on business, I think the things that you say in passing are just as important and are just as powerful in your marketing strategy. Because you're going to attract a certain type of client.
See, my thing is, I was trying to be careful with that too. I'm like, yo, like I have to literally watch every word I say during this hour or two, because
I told you, censorship is real.
Yeah.
And then, like, canceling Dave Chappelle. I wanted to talk about that on Pax Podcast. Like, you can't cancel Dave Chappelle. Why? Because everything he said was politically correct. And he had an opinion. And he's naturally, you're going to try, right? But I think it's important. Hey, I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to say it in a way that's politically correct, and I'm still going to maintain my platform. A lot of people get to a point where, like, they could care less if they lose their platform. And that, it's kind of whack. I remember when I first created the BLM Military Edition group, my grandma was really, really worried about my censorship, because she knows, like, you have no filter. You have no filter in real life. You have no filter online. You have no filter anywhere, Trinity. Like, the things that you're going to say and the things that you're passionate about will put your career in jeopardy. Are you prepared for that? I was like, I'm absolutely prepared to be a martyr so that people under me that come after me enjoy their time in the military. I already hate my time in. Like, I've already, you know what I'm saying, packed my bag. I'm ready to get my disability and get out. I have nothing more to lose. You know, they say, like, the most dangerous people are the ones with nothing to lose. Like, E5s. They're already dead. E5s. But essentially, that's what it was for me. It was like, again, I'll be martyrized for this. I could care less.
Yeah, they're already sending me the chopping block. I'm
exactly.
Tell the truth.
And so, but my grandma's like, no, self-preservation. What are you doing?
I think you have great things to talk about on Pack Show, you know? I think, like I said, you're not just a talking piece. You're going to turn these ideas and thoughts and things that you're passionate about into actionable things for young black women, you know?
Not
and
just
young
women.
Beige women, too.
What did I tell you to call me?
My beige companion.
Yo, I'd be tripping.
I like
that is so funny.
I like that a lot. But yeah, that's a great way to sign off. It's me and my beige companion.
Oh my God.